You haven't held it in 20 years, but you could draw it right now. The exact color, the worn spot. There's one toy, not all of them. One. You've forgotten teachers' names, whole birthdays, entire years. But this one thing stayed, perfectly, like it's waiting in a drawer somewhere in the back of you. And here's the strange part. When you picture it, it doesn't just feel warm. It aches. A little. Why would a plastic thing, or a bit of worn fabric, still carry that kind of weight? Why this one? And why does remembering it hurt, just slightly, in a way you can't quite explain? Let me tell you something that might change how you see the whole memory. It was never really about the toy. I know how that sounds, but stay with me. This is the part nobody tells you. That toy was doing a job, a real one, quietly, for years, and the job was you. Think of it as a bridge. When you were very small, there was no gap between you and the person who took care of you. You were the same thing, held, warm, no edges. And then, slowly, the world started asking you to be a separate person. Your mother left the room, the light went off, the car pulled away. That gap opening up, that's frightening when you're that small. It's the first real distance you ever felt. So you built a bridge across it, and the bridge was that toy. You'd hold it, and the gap didn't feel so wide. She wasn't here, but this was, and somehow that was enough to get you across the night. Decades ago, a psychoanalyst named Donald Winnicott sat and watched small children do exactly this. And he said something I keep coming back to. He said the object itself was never the point. It stands for something bigger. It's your very first move, from being merged with someone to being a person on your own. That's what the toy really was. Not a comfort, a crossing. And this isn't a fringe idea. It's old, well-worn ground in psychology, and it's held up. Researchers still find these small attachments don't simply end when childhood does. People carry them, quietly, far longer than they'll admit. Because when you held that toy, something in you actually settled. You were calmer. Your small body knew it was safe. And then you stopped needing it. Not all at once. One day you just noticed you'd left it behind, and the night was still fine. You could cross the gap on your own now. You didn't need the bridge. So it went in a box, or got lost, or sat on a shelf while you grew past it. And that's supposed to be the happy ending. That's the toy doing its job perfectly. So here's what people do when the ache comes back years later. They try to find it. They search the name online. They buy the same one, secondhand, and they wait for the feeling to come back. And it doesn't. Not really, because the thing you're missing was never inside the object. You can hold the exact same toy in your grown hands and feel almost nothing, and it's confusing and a little sad, and you quietly put it down. So let me give you something better than the toy back. The next time you steady yourself, alone, I want you to notice it. A hard night you get through by yourself. A waiting room where you talk yourself calm. A silence that used to scare you, and doesn't anymore. That steadying? That's the same skill the toy was teaching you all along. You're not missing the bridge. You're standing on the far side of it. You just don't usually look down and realize you're the one who built the ground. And here's why that matters. Why it's more than a nice thought. The comfort you're grieving isn't gone. It became you. The calm you once borrowed from a toy, you can make from the inside now. That isn't a step toward growing up. That is the growing up. It already happened. I think of someone who kept a worn little keepsake in a drawer for years. Felt a bit silly about it. Never threw it out. And one ordinary evening, they realized they hadn't reached for it in a very long time, and that the not needing was the whole point. That was the bridge, finished. That person isn't special. That's just what the crossing looks like when it works. It looks like you, most days, quietly fine. So no, you didn't lose that toy. And the ache isn't something wrong with you. It's the last echo of the first time you learned to be okay on your own. You can still draw it, the color, the worn spot. Of course you can. You didn't lose it. You became it.